Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm so excited for season 2 and the great guests you're going to hear from, their struggles, how they overcame their struggles, their triumphs. Through personal and business life, I think they're tied together, and we're going to share great stories about that. This show isn't just about me. It takes a lot of good people working with me. Among them is my partner, H7 Network, and Clay Hicks. Building relationships, building community is the mission of H7 Network. They want to create a network of champions where everybody wins. Find out more at h7network.com. And we hope to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you through our show. Enjoy the show. We'll talk to you on the other side. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. And you're in Canada, right, Ben?
I wish. I'm in Rochester, New York.
He's close to Canada, close to Toronto. Yeah. But what I've got with Ben here is definitely a marketer that does it unique, and he definitely serves when he markets. And I want you to hear all about him. Hey, Ben, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm excited to be here, Steve. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, let's talk more about how this all started for you.
Oh, man. Well, by now it's cliche, but COVID hit. And they say in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. And I got furloughed from my sales executive role. And in just over a year, actually replaced that income as an entrepreneur. But I really feel like my entire life was preparing me for that entrepreneurship moment. I didn't have any Elon Musks or Brene Browns or Steve Jobs on the wall. I thought I was going to move up my cushy job in corporate, move up the corporate ladder, and fly off into the sunset. But COVID hit. I was forced into entrepreneurship, launched a podcast, launched a solopreneur kind of just consultancy firm that somehow took off. And I guess I'm flying into the sunset as a business owner now, which is fun.
I love it. You fell into it, which is great. You didn't have to too much think about it. It just happened. Let's talk about your podcast.
Yeah, man. Real Business Connections. It's technically a network of 6 different shows. And without boring you with every individual detail, the reason there's 6 shows is it started in my little hometown of Rochester, New York. Rochester Business Connections, because I had no business connections and I had just started a business. So I started a Rochester, New York business show so I could network during the pandemic virtually using the podcast. That grew locally. I wanted to, widen my reach to national and international. So I eventually rebranded to Real Business Connections. And the reason there's 6 different segments is there's a panel, there's Solo Ben, there's Local to Rochester, there's International, there's 15-Minute Friday, which is half the length of my long-form conversations. So there's a little bit of something for everyone because we try to be holistic so we can help as many people as we can.
A podcast buffet. I love it.
Yes, sir.
And how's podcasting work for your business?
Oh, my God. I mean, how long do we have? I know we don't have 2 hours. The 2 main things that I want to note are, one, I get to learn from people that have accomplished things I'm trying to accomplish. So I can take their 10, 20, 30 years, their 10 million in revenue, and turn it into a 60-minute discussion where I can get the best nibbles of wisdom from them, extract that, and then give that to more people. So that's the biggest thing, and I'm drunk on power with the knowledge I get to get from my brilliant guests. And I know the tables are turned today, but I love being in your seat and getting to learn from brilliant people. The other thing, let's be realistic. Relationships equal referrals. Relationships equal connections. People get to know, like, and trust you. And by hosting the podcast, most of my clients aren't actually guests from the podcast. Like, most of my podcast guests don't become clients, but a large number of them have become affiliate partners, literal business partners, and referral partners that bring business to me, not to mention all the intangibles like personal branding, thought leadership, public speaking. Just think about that. You get to learn from brilliant people and build a referral network as you do it. I know this is very similar to your philosophy, Steve, and that's why I like you, man.
No, I like you too because yeah, you're right. It's building a community, and your network's increased, right?
100%. I did not have a network when I started. That's why I started Rochester Business Connections because I wanted some.
Well, that's cool because people out there interested in doing a podcast. This is a great testimonial for a podcast because it's given Ben an opportunity to grow his business the right way. Correct?
Oh yeah, not the quickest way,
Yeah.
but a sustainable way that provides me learning and skill sets where I can retain customers and build a strong foundation, so I can actually win the marathon rather than just. I, Steve, I could pick up the cold call 200 people a day, and drive way more revenue than I did podcasting. However, it would be a house of cards, and podcasting has really built a sustainable foundation to build everything else on top of.
And you're right, but it wouldn't be any fun. I'm not a cold caller, so not a way I want to build my business. But you're
No.
right that that's a way to do it if people want to do it. But I love this podcasting opportunity. Now let's go into marketing and what you do. I know you do some unique things in marketing that I want the audience to hear.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the day.
Yeah.
Um, I'm 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 constantly evolving because when
Yeah.
I started my business, and I won't get into too deep into the company I was working for previously, but we did all the traditional online marketing, web design, SEO. It's really all about like what's the first impression online? Can people find you? You hand them a business card. Can they find you? And once they find you, what do they see? Is the website pristine? Is it written well? Is there call to actions? Is there video content? Are you on social media? All the foundational things is where I got my start and how I started my business. And the reason why I say it's constantly evolving is, Steve, we already just talked about the number one way I built my business. It was through relationship building through the medium of podcasting. Podcasting isn't the only medium to build a relationship, it's just the one I used. And all my traditional online marketing clients were coming through networking by content marketing and podcasting. So what I've been building is so Balbert Marketing is my original company. I've been building out Real Business Connections, which is a podcasting concierge that creates content, podcast production, and ultimately marketing and networking tips, in addition to LinkedIn tips for people that are looking to build relationships using those mediums. So it's a constant evolution. I still do web design and SEO and the stuff that lights me up, but I'm doubling down on podcasters because you and I both know it's a beautiful space to be in.
It really is. How can people find these 5 podcasts?
Yeah, a realbusinessconnections.com. First off, guys, if you haven't clicked subscribe and 5 stars on Steve's show, it'll take you 2 seconds. We're mid show. Just do that while we talk right now. And then if you type in Real Business Connections, wherever you found this, 99% sure you'll find me. And if not, please look in the show notes or something and be like,
Yeah.
Ben, you're screwing up as a marketer, because you just have to type in the words Real Business Connections and you find me.
Tell me a good story of a client you work with your real business connections and the success and how you both felt after working with them.
Yeah, so a couple of my clients, I run LinkedIn profiles, NDAs. I'm kind of the undercover back end ghostwriter. So I can't get into that kind of stuff. But some of my favorite stories are the people that didn't have to invest a lot of money with me. Those are honestly my favorite people to mentor and work with. Good friends, Kevin Rustici and Tyler White, a couple years back wanted to start a show, and I was getting nosebleeds trying to figure it all out for 6 months, and I had done enough to codify the process and really understand how podcasting was such a great networking tool. And they were looking to get into C-suite level. You talk to executives and leaders that just wouldn't take their phone call. So Tyler and Kevin started a podcast called Time Out with Leaders. The concept was it was like a Friday afternoon, casual Friday, just like we'll relax, we'll talk about music, sports, and we'll get into leadership. And in like right now, I think my show's bigger than theirs, but for quite some time, their show actually surpassed mine, got bigger than mine, quickly surpassed what I took 6 months to do. They did in 1 or 2 months,
Wow.
simply because we sat down and walked through the process and the shoulds and the should nots that they need to focus on. And those guys only invested a handful of hundreds of dollars with me and then blew
Jeez.
it up. And I love stories like that because at the end of the day, if we're talking podcasting, like it's definitely great for the do it yourselfer. And then my more corporate, like thought leader, executive clients, they just don't have the time to do it themselves. So they hire me to just do it all for them. But anybody can get started in podcasting, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't worry about time and all that because you can do it yourself and take the time or hire you, Ben, to do it. It's I tell people all the time because I help people with their podcasts as well. Is I could take a company with 5 salespeople and the CEO and have all 6 do a podcast. Can't say guarantees, but I know they could double their income and triple their income
God.
because of the mission out there. Hearing about it, it's like the billboard in the freeway. Oh, I heard it here. I heard it here, and that's what you're doing, correct?
100%. It blows my mind that every CEO that's outspoken and has their unique special sauce isn't doing that kind of thing. Because, for example, let's say you're not hosting a podcast, you just want to guest on shows. You can jump on a platform with a built-in, and I'm humbled and blessed to be on your platform because you
Amen.
have a kick butt built-in audience. Talk about what you do, who you serve. And I don't have it running right now, but sometimes I keep a camera on the side of me and I've got filming content in front of me, filming content on the side of me. You can repurpose that content. Your CEO can build a personal brand in alignment with what you sell. Do you think it's going to be easier to recruit? Do you think it's going to be easier to bring in marketing interested, leads? Do you think it's going to be easier for your salespeople? And then you can build an ambassador team in your company around this messaging and explode it quicker than any single individual ever could. So kind
Yeah.
of blows my mind that I think it's changing, but blows my mind that more CEOs and executives don't take that kind of strategy and that kind of opportunity.
I love that, Ben. And I tell people all the time about podcasting compared to social media advertising. It's great, it works, but it doesn't work for everybody because your ad goes in Facebook and then it disappears because the
Yeah.
timeline goes. With our podcast, they sit forever in whatever platform you're on. People can have access to it. So a company has content there for years. Somebody go 2 years later and listen to a podcast, go, hey, I want to buy that product or service.
Yeah.
Can't find better marketing, can you?
Let me tell you this, the smartest thing anyone can do, and I'm not even doing it to the extent that I could. And you don't have to be a podcaster, but you do need to get on camera. Honestly, you don't even have to do that. You can create one sheets. But what are the most common questions you get? Answer them, and then have that as a resource that's evergreen on your website, on your YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. Really simple example. My friend David Polsini runs 6 Point Financial Partners. They have a podcast, and I forget the number. I'm just going to use 7. It's 7 questions to ask your financial advisor before you hire them. How do you get paid is a big one, but they have 7 questions. So what they do in their intro email is, hey, we want you to be working with an advisor ultimately in a relationship for possibly the rest of your life. We want to make sure that there's trust. So they send a video. Hey, it's Ben. Good to meet you. We're going to be meeting later today. In addition to that, videos, a couple resources. You can transcribe the audio of those 7 reasons, or someone can listen on the go. But let's say they listen to the questions. I apologize. The 7 questions to ask your financial advisor. They listen. They watch your intro video. They're going to show up warm to you. They know who you are. They already have a gist of who you are, especially in a virtual world.
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to do? They're going to ask those questions. And what do you think is going to happen? You're going to have perfect answers because you're a great company and you've already been through the ringer to know how to actually treat your client and how to be a good advisor when not everyone might be as good. And what is the last point? They can take those questions and go ask somebody else. And if the someone else doesn't have good answers, red flag. That's just one podcast that can be evergreen for the next 10 years, that can go directly in your emails, prompting people to listen to it. And even if your only listeners are those prospects, it's serving its purpose. You don't need 10 million
Right.
listeners,
Right.
even if your listeners are just your clients and prospects.
Right. No, I love that. You're so right on, because, and there's so many ways to do it. That's why I know a guy, or I don't know, I've heard of a guy who does a 1 minute podcast. He's got like 100,000 followers. It's 1 minute, boom.
Wow.
And I'm talking about serving, bringing value to your listeners is this 7th question. That's huge value at no cost. Just listen to our podcast, and guess what? We're going to give you, advice and tips that, they're valuable. I mean, it's going to qualify the financial advisor, but it's going to help that potential client to find the right one.
Give the client confidence in you as a business leader to show up and serve them.
What are you looking for in a potential client?
I want someone who's growth hungry. This is maybe a projection on myself, but it's not, oh, they need to be a certain revenue at a certain age with a certain gender, with a certain political background. I don't give a crap about half that stuff. I want someone growth hungry who sees potential in me and their business. I'm 31 years old. I started my business during COVID. I'm new to business ownership. I've been in corporate. I'm going to be doing this the next 40, 50 years minimum.
Yep.
So I want to work with people that are growth hungry with massive potential, because then we can go to the moon together.
I love that. And the moon's pretty far, so there's going to be a lot of growth there.
Yes, sir.
Some people might say Mars, but moon's more attainable for the company. Do you talk to clients about their goals with their podcast?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think it's important to have clarity on the purpose behind it. If the purpose is to plop up some content, become an influencer overnight, quit my day job, and then just live on a yacht, I think those aren't necessarily bad goals, but that's not going to happen overnight. So getting clarity on the purpose behind why we're doing anything is pivotal, and then getting the shorter term goals where maybe you will live on a yacht. But if you want to live on a yacht in 5 years, I wouldn't recommend starting a podcast. It's more of a long-term play.
Right. And again, it's a tool for branding, marketing, promotion, all those type of things.
Yeah,
and you're serving people asking for their goals. How can people reach out to you, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's in the show notes. You can type in, again, Real Business Connections. Very easy to find me if you just type in those words.
Yep.
LinkedIn is where I'm most active. Other than Twitter, I'm on every social media platform because I want to be omnipresent. I want to be where you're most comfortable. But LinkedIn is the place that I spend most of my time. So if anyone's on LinkedIn, that's a great place to go.
Perfect. Ben Alpert, easy name to remember. I don't know how many are out there, but you're the one they want to connect with. Ben Alpert for sure. Tell us one of the common mistakes people do when they want to start a podcast, or thought of a start of a podcast.
Ooh, common mistakes. Well, we already kind of touched on one major one is not having clarity on why you're doing it. It's funny because the common mistakes, I'm always evolving, and it's hard for me to give a specific answer. It depends based on case by case. Because for some people, just getting started is what needs to happen. Not getting started is a mistake. Like, they've been thinking about it. They already have a logo. They already have a name. They already have 50 questions that they want to ask. They have like the intro music, but they haven't even recorded anything.
See, Ben, I led you to that, because that's exactly the biggest mistake. Talking to people with a podcast is, I want to do it, but I don't know how. And I've been thinking about I talked to a guy who's been thinking about it for 5 years.
Wow.
I think we're going to eventually launch him. And the other thing that I see too is just record shows. Don't worry about how it looks. Because my first show, I did 3, 2, 1 and started clapping, and the show had started already. So you see me clapping, typing, yelling 3, 2, 1, start the show. I just didn't know. I learned. It got 100 views. His content was great.
Okay.
How important is the content though in the podcast?
Yeah, and I wanted to like yin and the yang. The other major mistake that's kind of contradicts itself is I say just get started. Some people get started too quickly. They don't have clarity on what they're doing. They don't have a mic.
Yeah.
They don't have the right cam. Just getting started smart, but if you're driving in a car with the AC blowing on a camera phone and you don't have any vision, it's just going to be terrible content, like you just asked. So I guess really one of the major keys to creating good content is just know why you're creating it and who you're creating it for. Um, I like to focus on values without telling you the whole story because I know it's a shorter podcast, but growth mindset, wisdom, belonging, connection, fun, fulfillment. Those are kind of a couple of those values: fun, fulfillment, wisdom, growth. They all kind of connect, but those are probably my 6 main values. Those are basically the only things I talk about
Wow.
because I want to detract people that aren't connected to that message and people that feel like they're an underdog that maybe went through struggle, whether it's addiction or just not feeling like you're enough. And then you developed a growth mindset and then you grew into a person that you never even imagined you'd become. Those are the people I want to attract. So I tell those stories. So, what are your values? Who are you? Who's your audience? And create content specifically for that person. And if it's hard to determine who that person is, just create content for the person you used to be 3 years ago because there's other people that are exactly how you used to be 3 years ago and they need your message.
I love that. And you're right. We could talk about podcasting for hours and we don't have that much time. So we run out of the end of the show. I want to thank you for being on the show.
Yeah,
I
man.
love talking podcasts. You're doing such a great job. Please reach out to him. And I'm going to do something crazy, Ben. The first 2 people that reach out to Ben, I'm going to send you a gift via mail. So please mention the podcast or my name or both to Ben when you reach out to him, and he'll let me know, and I'll get your mailing information. I'm going to mail you a gift. That's how much I believe in podcast, but even more, I believe in Ben being able to help you do this. It's really a cool thing, and it can be simple. Don't overthink it, and you'll be good.
Yeah, and I'd love if that same person left this man, Steve, a review and took a screenshot of that just
I,
to
amen.
further icing on that cake.
I love that. Put a little cherry on top too.
Yeah.
Well, we're at the end. Can I ask a favor?
Yeah, man.
Can you leave my audience some tip, advice? I know you left a lot of golden nuggets, but what's another one that could help them in their journey in professional or personal?
Yeah, I'll give an analogy here. So everyone wants the key to become a podcaster, a marketer, an influencer, a thought leader, the key to happiness. There is no key to success. There is no key to success. It's a combination lock. And similar to a padlock, each and every one of us has our own unique combination. So, one thing that's been humbling for me as a podcaster is talking to so many different brilliant people, learning their plays, hearing their playbook, but not just copying them, actually learning from them, extracting the wisdom, and creating my own playbook and becoming my own self and becoming my own Ben based on who I am. So, if you learned anything today, if you learn anything from the previous episode or the next one, you don't have to mimic everything we said or idolize anybody you listen to. We're not your gurus. Just extract one thing and implement it and continue to add to that combination, and you'll get where you need to go.